Okay, so you probably looked at that and thought, nice, that's a new chord I can learn. What's it called? But you'd be asking the wrong question and you'd be having the wrong approach. And I'm going to explain why today and show you a better approach that is going to allow you to learn lots of new chords and chord progressions. So hi there, I'm Chris, and I upload a lot of videos and I get feedback on them, which is awesome because it allows me to kind of gauge where people are at. And there's one thing that struck me as kind of interesting. When I show some kind of maybe like a vamp or a riff based around a specific chord, and I often get the question, well, what's the name of the chord? And that doesn't always make sense to me. And let me explain. I mean, it's awesome to know what chords are called, right? Because you can find your chord chart and you can play the song. That's all good stuff. But as you get more advanced and you learn more and more voicings, just memorizing a chord name gets useless because, for one, there are pretty much more chords and chord voicings on the guitar than you will ever be able to explore and memorize in a lifetime, right? Too many combinations. So there's a better approach as you get more advanced, which does not revolve around memorizing chord names, but understanding why this chord is useful. And that's exactly what I want to show you today, but based on a very, very, very simple kind of chord progression, the one you saw in the beginning. That kind of thing. So I think a lot of people just memorize this as a new interesting chord, and it is. We could analyze it and we could think that, well, it starts with E, and then we go down to what could either be like an E power chord with E flat in the bass. That's a weird way of looking at it. More likely, we'd look at it as a part of a B major triad with an omitted fifth. But as you can hear, it quickly gets complicated. Instead, the conclusion I would draw from this is the fact that we have a movement from one chord to the other. We have a bass movement, and we chose to adapt our chord shape so that it would follow the movement, right? So this is what I would remember. That's useful. And we can either choose to, have our bass player maybe do this while we do, or we could do something, and that bass line could still be around. However, the version I opted for here was to simply include the movement within our chord shape. So to me, what I'm doing here is pretty much keeping my original chord but adapting the bass note so that there would be a natural flow or movement into that relative major power chord. Why not? Get experimenting. So my point here is, it doesn't really matter if what you're playing is something complicated or something power chords based. You don't have to be theoretical about everything and remember lots of chord names. A lot of times it's more useful to have a basic knowledge around a few chords and then apply your common sense and also your ears in terms of what can we add to that chord, I don't really care about what those chords are called. I just start from like a D, okay? Let's move one finger. And if you start thinking about chords and chord progression this way, that's going to invite you to start opening your mind and just thinking in new terms around the chords you already know. You can start adding stuff to them, and you can start not care so much about what you're doing. Is that a correct chord? Does it have a name? Hint, hint, it does have a name, but it's not useful. And basically start taking steps on your own to explore new sounds and new possibilities in a much faster pace, because you can simply explore the fretboard and not care about what someone else would call these chords. Thank you for watching. You've been wonderful. I've been Christopher Dahl. See ya. Cheers.